For this exercise in the graphics chapter, we're going to write a program that draws grids in an applet window of a specified size. In other words, if we specify 20, then it's going to draw a 20 by 20 grid of rectangles. If we specify 10, then it'll draw a 10 by 10 grid of rectangles. So let's get started. We're going to call this program drawgrid.java. So we start off with our imports. Then our HTML. Now we're ready to begin our class. So our function is going to be called grid. It's going to take two arguments, two parameters, a graphics object and an integer to represent the number of rectangles we want to draw. So in other words, this would be 20 if we want a 20 by 20 grid. The code itself is simply a matter of writing a series of nested for loops, actually just one nested inside the other. And inside the nested for loop, we draw a rectangle of x times side, y times side, side, side. And that's all we have to do. The paint program simply has to determine the number of sides we want, or the size of our grid, and call the method with our graphics object G and the value for the number of rectangles we want. And there's our program. So this is very simple, yet it does pretty good work. So let's take a look. So we'll compile it. And there's our grid, 20 by 20. Let's change it. Let's make it 10 instead of 20. Compile it, and then run it. And there's 10. Notice it gets quite small, and we could go even smaller than that. Let's go larger just to see what happens. Let's go 30. We may have to adjust the size of our applet window. We'll see here. Compile and then run. Yeah, we're just a little bit small. We can bring it out. Still not quite there, but you get the idea. When you need a grid in an application, here's a simple method for drawing that, and you can specify how large you want it by providing a different value for the side argument. And with that, we're finished with this exercise, and that wraps up this chapter on graphics.